Hey guys!
See those sleigh bells jingling, ring, tingle, tingling. I'm on it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside, snow is falling and friends are gone.
Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. This is Judy, and today we are going to get into reacting to Amberlynn's most recent video. But before that happens, I do just want to say that there has been a lot of kerfuffle today about some new terms of service via YouTube regarding bullying and harassing and what the consequences are for channels that are deemed to be bullying and or harassing other channels. One of the things that is most concerning to me about the policy is that it talks about bullying and harassing behavior being repeated videos made about one person on YouTube. Now, if you watch my channel, it doesn't take too long to realize that I've made a lot of videos about both Amberlynn Reid and Chantal Foodie Booty. I am under no illusion that this could potentially apply to me and my channel, and I just want to be realistic about that moving forward. Already today, Michael B. Petty had a video removed that was just about Twinkie and Amberlynn's treatment of Twinkie, and I have a lot of concerns about that. But the reality is that I also think it's really important for us to be able to talk about the way that Amberlynn Reid treats her animals. On any other day, if all of this new YouTube stuff had happened, I probably wouldn't choose to react just so I could see what's gonna happen and what's gonna shake out with these new terms of service. But I don't want to be scared from making content that I care about. And one thing that I care about is animals being neglected by Amberlynn Reid. I feel passionate about that. I care about the animals that are in our household. I've said time and time again that really the turning point for me and being a viewer of Amberlynn Reid's was when she dumped her cats at her friend Rafe's, right? And so ever since then, I've just never really looked at Amberlynn the same. And of all of her misfortunes and misgivings and all of the questionable things that she has done on YouTube, I think this one is personally for me, again, I know that there are other things that she does that other people feel some type of way about, but for me personally, this is the one thing that she does that I care about probably the most. That's not to say I don't care about the other things, but this is what I care about the most. And so I just really don't feel like being fear-mongered out of making content that I think is important, that I think people deserve to hear and see. And quite frankly, I'm not, at least for today, going to refrain from making a video about Amberlynn Reid just because there could be negative consequences to my channel. Now, the reality is that I do have a full-time job outside of YouTube. I have a secure income outside of YouTube. I'm not concerned about my income. I will say that I appreciate the money, and the money that I made from YouTube has allowed me to do many things, like pay off my student loans, get a nicer apartment, be able to give Judy a nice and lush life, and also save up for other things and other plans that I have in my future. So, I mean, while I'm grateful for all the money that I have been able to make by doing YouTube, at this point, I'm not gonna let YouTube scare me out of making content that I think is important. Ultimately though, if you do wanna stay in touch with me, which is what I think is most important, I am going to link down below a second channel that I've always had. It's Zachary Michael ASMR. At one point I thought I was gonna be an ASMR channel. I probably won't ever make more ASMR, but it's a second channel where I can potentially start uploading stuff should something happen to this channel. And then two, I've literally never streamed on Twitch, but I do have a Twitch account. And so I'm gonna link that down below. And, potentially you can come find me there. As always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm very active in both of those places. So please follow me there as well, because then I can give you the most up-to-date information about what's happening with my channel should something go wrong. I'm hoping that nothing goes wrong, because I genuinely, at the end of the day, believe that I'm just providing commentary. I don't think I'm bullying or harassing anybody. I think criticism is important. I think critique is important. I welcome people to criticize and critique what I'm saying, because I'm not perfect. And so I think that that's an important part of what YouTube is. YouTube has always been a social platform. It's always been about engaging with folks through video form. There were no other social media sites that did it at the time. And so I think to take away people's ability to comment on other YouTube content is a misstep on YouTube's part. So with all of that being said, let's get into the reaction. All right, so the title is Explaining a Few Things, Vlogmas Day 11, 2019. Here we go.
Hey guys, so welcome to Vlogmas Day 11. I figured I would do a little bit of a Q&A. I actually haven't done a Q&A in a very, very long time on this channel. So, my eye looks a little crazy. I've been trying my hardest not to itch it, but I was cuddling with my cat. I'm allergic to cats, so...
Okay, first of all, I want to say I have missed Q&As. I always feel like the most obnoxious things happen during Q&As, and it's also kind of like how I got started interacting with Amberlynn Reed back in the day, so I do miss a Q&A moment. But second, this like I'm allergic to cats thing slays me, because I am allergic to cats. And I mean, I'm sure there are varying levels of allergies, but like I would never, like cats are cute, but I would literally never choose to have one because it would make my life miserable.
It is what it is. Hello. So I had to write down your guys' questions because I'm filming from my phone, so I wrote them down,
Okay.
So bear with me. There's quite a few, but I'm gonna try my hardest not to like ramble too much. Is there a reason you won't consider a weight loss surgery? So back in the day, I would have never considered it, but it's definitely something that I have considered a lot in the last year. I even went to a weight loss doctor where I was ready to throw down $30,000 and be like, here, I want weight loss surgery. But for some reason, he told me I'd lose weight slower if I would get weight loss surgery.
Well, first of all, are we really bringing the weight loss doctor up again? Because, girl, he told you how to lose weight, and you tried for 12 hours, if that. Girl, miss me with all of that. I don't even want to hear your opinion on him anymore.
I kind of want to go back to him and re-talk to him and be like, yo,
no,
I really want this.
No.
But there is someone who...
You don't get to go back to him. You already shat all over his weight loss plan. No, bye.
Who I honestly adore because I actually watched them on a TV show, who has inspired me, and we've been talking, and she really wants to help me talk to her weight loss surgery doctor. And it's just something that is definitely up in the air, something I'm still thinking about because it's hours and hours and hours away, and I don't know if I can withstand a car ride like that, but it's definitely something in my mind. Should Becky be driving in her condition? So I know a lot of people care about Becky, and I know some people just like the entertainment.
I am concerned about Becky. I'm also concerned that you keep including her when she clearly like doesn't want to be a part of it. But Becky is clearly very out of it. I don't know what the reason for that is because you won't share that with us. But I think people have the right to be like, it seems a little sus that she's driving in this state because she looks like she's not fully present.
Of like, oh, what's wrong with Becky? Is she on benzos? Like, what? No. Becky is totally okay to drive. She's okay to cook. She's okay to do literally anything. And I got full permission from Becky to say this in just short form. Becky is experiencing very bad depression. What is causing this huge wave of depression is a mood stabilizer that she got put on that actually is not interacting well with what she needs. Her psychiatrist is working really hard to decrease the medicine dosage because this is a type that if you completely stop it cold turkey, it can really, really mess with your mental state.
I have so many questions, Dr. Lynn, medicine woman, and I'm just so confused. If she's been like this for a long time, I mean, I'm also not a psychiatrist, I'm also not a physician, but it just seems like she has been this way for a long time. Like a long time. I don't know, I'm concerned.
It's sad to watch. It's been sad for all of us.
Yeah.
Her family, her friends.
I agree.
And it's even worse for her because she is the one having to deal with it.
Well, of course it's worse for her. Yeah, she is the one dealing with it. This isn't about anybody but her. I mean, not to say that, like, people around her aren't impacted by her being depressed. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. But, like, for you to say, it's worse for her. Of course it is. You're stating the obvious.
And it is such a huge change, and her psychiatrist is doing everything she can to stop this from happening. And it's sad because there are some medications out there who will turn you into a zombie, if you will. But I also don't want people to be afraid of taking mood stabilizers or antidepressants because they really can't help. I am a case of that because the medicine that's not working for Becky is actually the one that I'm on that is working for me. Biggest regret this year, by far, it's not losing. It's not losing a really big chunk of weight, which is what I always planned on every single year, and unfortunately, I failed another year. I might be losing weight now, but I should have done it months and months ago. Do you think your childhood is why you binge? 100%. Because I started binging very young. I'm talking 7 years old.
Okay, so a couple things. One, if you are actually losing weight, this is great. We love it. We love to see it. And for you to get hung up on like, I didn't start losing it soon enough, like, girl, no time like the present. So if you're losing weight, keep it up. Two, of course, yes, your past experiences do impact like your behaviors today. So I'm sure that that's why you engage in binging. I think that's also why people like myself have said for a long time that you need to go to an actual therapist, that nothing is going to get better if you don't do that. So I hope that that's also something that you're engaging in currently.
I would stuff my face, I would get sick, and I did it because I was turning to food as a comfort because of everything that was going on in my life, because I was in pain, I was traumatized, I was constantly cattails.
Look, there's Rarity on the table again. We haven't done anything about Rarity on the table.
I was constantly crying, and I don't want to get into it, but it was just a really bad childhood. But I will say a lot of people experience bad childhoods and they don't become a binge eater or a food addict, and there are food addicts and binge eaters who didn't have a bad childhood.
Yes, thank you for once again stating the obvious. Not everybody has the same experience as you. Most people don't assume that just because they have one thing in common with Amberlynn Reed that means their whole life is the same and that there's a correlation there.
It really just depends on everyone. Like, everyone's circumstances are different, but for me, 100% I blame my childhood, but it's up to me, the person I am now, to fix this. It's not, I can't go back and change something.
Absolutely.
I can only change now. Would you ever collaborate with Beauty?
I love how she cannot say Chantal's YouTube name correct. Like, I've literally never heard her say it correct on her channel.
I always get tongue-tied when I say her name, but yes, I would totally collab with Chantal if I ever met her.
I would love to see it. Let's make it happen.
Twinkie is doing amazing. It's like it never happened. And I didn't want to talk about this, but there have been calls to animal control. Ooh. And whenever they show up here,
here's the tea. Here's the tea, because I kind of knew this was coming because some people had tweeted at me about it, slipped into my DMs about it. Like, sometimes it's hard to avoid what happens in the actual Amberlynn videos. But I probably, one of the first reaction videos I did, one of the first few reaction videos I did, was me reacting to the last time that she mentioned animal control coming to her home, her apartment, or her wherever she lives, whatever kind of unit she lives in. And at the time I said, and I still stand by this honestly, that like the type of neglect that animal control looks for is not something that you're gonna find in Amberlynn's home, right? Like, they're looking for the people on hoarders that have like 12 cats hoarded away in their one room. They're looking for people where you can tell that like animals haven't been fed or they've been beaten or things like that, right? So I don't think that's what's happening with Rarity, Wasabi, Chunk, Chubbs, whoever, Twinkie. But does that mean that she's a good pet parent? No. So just because, I mean, I don't even really know what she's about to say, but this is me reiterating my opinions in the past when people called animal control on her. Just because in the past animal control has said that there's not a problem doesn't make me think any less or any better of Amberlynn for her pet parenting skills, okay? Like, I still think it's trash that she wasn't able to go and find an emergency vet for Twinkie, right? I also want to say I think it's real ridiculous to get into her life like that, to like call people to her home. I think that that's extra and I don't encourage that, just to be clear. Now let's see what she has to say. Sorry.
They apologized to me. they feel bad that they have to come here because of people's false accusations. And every time they come here because of one of you calling them, they feel bad for me. They come here and they see my cats, they see my dog, and they say that they're healthy. And the funny thing is, the animal control guy that came today, yes, it happened today. I was gonna make a whole video about it, but you know what? I'm not gonna do that. His side worker, because animal control always comes with 2 people. And he actually saw me at the vet with Twinkie just a couple weeks ago. And it's little things like that where it's like Twinkie has a rabies tag, and I do everything I can for Twinkie.
Girl, if you did everything you could for Twinkie, you would have taken her to the vet. You would have even let's pass the fact that you claim that there weren't any emergency vets available, which we all know at this point to be a lie. Even if that were the case, then the next day you still would have followed up and taken her to the vet, just because she's like, looks like she's okay doesn't mean that she was okay. So miss me with that. Miss me with that.
And you guys are wasting the time, valuable time, by calling 911, by calling animal control, for reasons that you don't need to. I take care of my animals like they're my freaking soul.
You want to talk about wasting time, girl? You just brought up that weight loss doctor at the beginning of this video, and you said you were going to go back to him. How about the time you wasted of his, girl? How about how you went and set up an appointment and met with him, and then 12 hours later decided, nope, not going to do it. Let's talk about that time waste. I clearly just got done saying that I didn't think people should be calling animal control on you. I surely did. But you don't get to stand on this higher ground of like, why are all these people wasting all this time? You spend time in emergency rooms. You set up appointments with doctors that you never plan on following their advice of. So you have zero room to be talking about wasting time right now.
They are my heart. The guy was actually explaining to me today that the second time he ever showed up here, because I'm literally like a friend to him now, like he knows me through and through. I swear he has watched my YouTube, because he told me some things today that, eased my mind, and he can understand why he's getting these calls, because there are people out there who literally are here to make my life miserable. The second time that he actually showed up here, there were times where people are calling in and there could be a kid on the other line choking, or there could be like an actual animal.
What animal control is not gonna go rescue a kid who's choking? What? I get if there's other animals that need their attention, but animal control is not gonna go rescue a choking kid.
Truly in pain, and it's just not okay, because you're wasting their time and their resources for something so silly. He told me that everything I did regarding Twinkie and the pain that she was having was correct.
First of all, he's also not a vet. Let's just be clear there. Like, he can't necessarily medically clear your animal in the same way that a vet could, just to be clear.
And I just don't understand why people think it's okay to call me an animal abuser when I am the literal farthest from it. My vet sees that I take care of my animals. The freaking animal control sees that, and it's like, you can't keep bothering these people with things that aren't true. But
you don't understand? You don't understand why people don't think that you can take care of animals? You waited forever to get Rarity fixed, much longer than like is recommended for cats. You dumped Rarity and Wasabi when you wanted to move in with your girlfriend, whose landlord wouldn't let her have more than one animal. And you also like knowingly let Destiny just like throw around animals. If you don't know what that is, I'm gonna find the clip and insert it here. So like, you question why people question your ability to parent animals. And we're not dumb. We see things. So just because you're not abusing animals, which is what animal control is responsible for doing and monitoring and making sure you're not doing, just because you're not abusing them, like beating them or not feeding them or hoarding them in one building, doesn't mean you're like a perfect pet parent, okay, girl? So let's get these things clear.
But to the people who really do care about Twinkie and cared about her well-being, she is doing amazing. Like, I hope so. Scared, and it's just good to see that was probably just like a tiny pulled muscle or something. But the minute it starts happening again, I do want to say thank you to the people who actually showed me that there's a 24-hour vet hospital You know?
Yeah, it's your actual vet. Girl, it's your vet. There's one, your actual vet that you were videotaped at has a 24/7 emergency vet line. Not to mention also the vet that was by the Chili's you were at. Not to mention that if you really wanted to, you could have gone to Lexington, Kentucky, where you visit frequently to eat orange chicken. Okay, girl, so I don't want to hear your excuses that now all of a sudden you've learned that there was one there all along, because you didn't try very hard. You surely didn't.
Also, the guy told me today, because I explained to him, I was like, there's no 24/7 vet hospitals around here, and he was like, actually there is one, but the reason why you didn't think so is because on Google it says that there isn't. But there is one, and I do know that now, thanks to you guys.
You are a lie.
Him, because I had no idea.
You are an absolute lie. I don't believe anything that's coming out of your mouth right now.
Because when I was Googling, the actual place showed up that it was closed. So
Stop.
like, my brain just automatically was like, okay, then I guess it's closed. But not.
The actual business was probably closed, but did you click on the link to say like, hey, is there a number I can call in the case of an emergency? Like, what kind of also pet parent? So here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that I haven't seen anybody say. Maybe they have and I just missed it. But like, myself and my friends that have pets, like, we know what number we're gonna call in the event that there's an emergency. When I dog sit for my friends that have a boxer, they leave me the number of their emergency vet just in the event that something happens. And I do the same with Judy. So, like, why do you not already know these things prior to an emergency happening? Why did you wait until an emergency was there at your footsteps, at your feet, before you're like, I gotta figure out who to call? That makes no sense to me.
Now that I know that there's actually a doctor who stays there even after closed hours. And I know that now thanks to you guys. So I do want to say thank you. So now I know in the future, there is somewhere I can go if something happens at 4 a.m.
Convenient
so
now.
thank you. Like, I wouldn't ever just not take Twinkie because I didn't want to. Who cares about hanging out with my friends? Who cares about going to Walmart?
That's what people been saying, girl. Who cares? You seem to care a whole lot. You just left Twinkie behind.
Who cares about going to Chili's? It wasn't about that. I would choose Twinkie over anything.
Okay, so I decided to stop reacting and filming after she got done talking about Twinkie. I did watch the whole video through just to make sure there was no more conversation about Twinkie, but I felt like tonight, like I said at the beginning of this video, really the only reason I'm choosing to react even at this point today, given all the other news, is because I felt the stuff that was said about Twinkie needed to be covered, needed to be responded to. I still think that Amberlynn is completely foolish. So many people on the internet have pointed out the many different avenues and ways that she could have contacted somebody to make sure that Twinkie was okay, that Twinkie's health was in good condition. Do I think people should call animal control on her? Not really. I don't think that this was a case that animal control is responsible for, but do I think that she exercises poor judgment when it comes to all of her pets frequently? Does she have a documented history of poor pet parenting? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's not a question for me about that. So I just have to say that, like, animals and the way that Amberlynn treats them will always be like my ultimate trigger when it comes to her channel. I care about animals. I think in the grand scheme of things, of all the things on her channel, the animals in her life are the only real things that don't have a choice, right? Like, they don't have a choice but to live with Amberlynn. That's all they know. And Eric and Ricky, they could move out if they really needed to or wanted to. Becky could leave of her own accord. Dana and Destiny don't have to be her friend if they don't want to. But ultimately, like, Rarity, Wasabi, and Twinkie have no say in this. And I think that that's just unfortunate. So, anyways, with all of that being said, I do just want to say, especially given the news on YouTube today, that I genuinely appreciate the love and support from everybody that watches my channel. I really, truly appreciate it, also because I realize, especially right now, that I'm getting to the reactions and stuff much later than some of the other channels, and y'all have shown me so much support and so much love, and you've continued watching my channel. So I appreciate it, and I hope you'll continue watching my channel or whatever venue of media that I have moving forward, regardless of what happens with YouTube's terms of service. So thank you all so much. I love you all. If you haven't already, subscribe down below, hit the bell button, leave me some comments, hit the like button, and follow me on all my social media. Take care of yourselves all. I love you all so much. Bye!